Good morning, everyone. I hope you are able to hear me and you are able to watch my screen. So in this session, we are going to talk about approval management for our applications, how we can configure the approvals in Fusion applications. That's what we are trying to talk about. Right. So here, when we want to work with an approval management, almost for every transaction, almost for activity, every activity, we can go for configure the approval management. We can go for configure an approval management. Let's go for setup and maintenance FSM environment, functional setup manager. Let's go to FSM here, functional setup manager. And once we enter into this particular area, we'll be able to find this, and we can do it from implementation project, or we can also use the shortcut from here. This is also is one of the area where we can do the setups. Both are same, no difference here. So let me go for the approval, manage approval here. Manage approval transactions for human capital management. Let's take the task here, manage approval transactions for human capital management. And now let's go for approval rules. So in approval rules, we'll be configuring the approvals for our transactions, This will call it as a transaction manager, this environment. Let's search for the transaction. Let's say I would like to configure the approvals for location creation. So if we want to create some location, or you would like to modify some existing locations, or you want to make some changes, or you want to delete a date effective record for the location, then we can do this. Here it is. Okay. And there is an option here, something called bypass approval. Bypass approval here. What is the meaning of this? If at all we don't want any approvals process for our transaction, we can enable it. If we look at here, bypass approval option is enabled for create location. It means if you want to create a location in HCM, human capital management, you don't need to go for any approval process because it's bypassed. Directly we can create a location and use it in our transactions. Okay. But at this point of time, we want to configure the approvals. So what we'll do is we will go for remove it. We'll go for remove this option. Yeah. So that's create location here. So go for create location. Right now we have enabled approvals. We have enabled the approvals over here. Let's go for configure rules. Go for configure the rules over here. Now this is our environment approval rules. If you want to create a new rule, we can create. And if you want to go with edit existing rule, we can modify here, and we'll be able to find the approvals here right side. These all are approval options. These all are approval options right here. So all are approval options here. Right. Okay. So here we have different options like application rule, approval groups, management hierarchy, position hierarchy, representative, self-auto approve, and users. There are different approval options, right? Yeah, there are different approval options. Here it is, right? So now we are trying to work on this. Here it is. So right now self auto approve is there. It means the moment when we create a location, it's automatically approved. It's automatically approved here. Okay. So let me delete this because we don't want this. And my requirement is if any user create a location that required approval from users, just click on this. It will be added here. And click on this here, user option. And what exactly you want? I need approvals. Approval is required, or you want just information only? You want information only. So we need approval. Information means just FYI, for your information, notifications will be sent for approval. You will not be able to take a decision. You can just read the information. That's all. You cannot take any next level further steps. But at this point of time, I need approval from some user. Okay. So you would like to have it from the user? Yes. And who is that user? Either one or multiple. We can also add that. Let's say I need from the user called BAN 13 dot BAN 13. This user has to approve it. If you want to go for multiple users approval, just go for add here. It is. Like this multiple users also we can go for add it here. Let me go for save the record here. Now let's log in with any user. It's not only with this user. We can log in with any user. Let me log in with another user and create location. Obviously, we'll get a notification for this user. Okay. It seems that for Curtis Fitty user, password has changed. Let me change the password and do the activities. Now, Mr. Curtis Fitty is trying to create a location. Let me go to setup and maintenance. We have already done location creation, right? Last time in previous sessions. Let me go for do this here. We can do it from here also. Go to the task location here. Manage locations. Go for review here. And the moment when we go for review, go down, here itself we can find approvers. Who is supposed to approve this particular document, this particular transaction. Go down here, approvers information, here itself we can find. Go down, see. We need approval from one user called BAN13 user. That user is supposed to approve this particular transaction, right? Let me go for submit. Because we configured, if anybody create a location, need approvals from this user. That's what we have configured, right? Now let's log in with that user. Now this user is going to log in here. It is. They will be receiving the notification here. Now we can find here, we got a notification, action required for the task called location, and which user has created this task. So and so person has created, and you would like to go with approval or reject. So let me go for approve it. Now the employee has approved this particular transaction. So you will be receiving the notification. Let me log out, and employee is going to log in and verify the notification has received or not with approval status. Now we can find that the transaction is approved. Once it is approved, then only we'll be able to find that record in the application. Otherwise, if somebody says that I created location or I created job or position, but when I search, it's not visible. The reason is there might be some approvals pending. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So manage approval transactions for HCM. And sorry, we just wanted to check the location, right? Now we can find the options. Yes, right. So this is how we can configure approvals for a particular transaction from one user or multiple users. From one user or multiple users. Let's go for another approval process. Let me go to the task job here. For job task, we are trying to configure an approval management. We can also define multiple rules here. We'll look for the next session, how we can configure multiple rules here. Now, if we create a rule, then right now self-auto approve is there. If we look at here, this plus symbol is disabled here. The plus symbol is disabled over here. Okay. So if you select this particular option, then only it will be enabled. Otherwise, it will not be enabled. Okay. Now here we want to go with, last time we have seen users, right? Users we have seen. Self-auto approve is automatically approved. Representative is nothing but an employee who is having some holding some job or position can approve. User means anybody can that. And now we look for this management hierarchy, important. So the requirement is, if any employee create a job or hire employee, they are supposed to get an approval from his manager. They are supposed to get approval from his manager. So right now client is telling us that let's apply this approval hierarchy for this task called create job. If somebody try to create a job, let's apply these options. Okay. So now we will go for management hierarchy. Select this management hierarchy. Now here we have the options. Do you want approvals required or you need automatic approval? Automatic means the notification will be sent to the manager, and manager is going for approvals here, right? And FI for your information only it will be used. So we are going to say that approval is required. How about the manager? Which manager options you would like to operate? Line manager, project manager, or resource manager, regional, like this here. And now we want to go with line manager. And how about the approval chain of requesting? Here it is. It's a requester. You need approvals starting with manager or starting from employee. It means first employee will create a job. First he has to approve it. Then his manager will approve it. Okay. So employee himself is supposed to approve it first. If at all not required, we can start with manager. It means employee create a job. Then first manager has to approve. If you need again his manager, you can go for a number of levels or 2 or 3, whatever. It means if employee create a job, that is required approval from his manager. From there it will start. And again we said number of levels are 2. His manager has to start. His manager has to start. Number of levels are 2. And how about the top level, top approver, manager, or someone else, user we can specify? Generally it will be manage. So like this we can go for configure management hierarchy over here. Go for submit. Now let me create a job. If we search for the job here, what happened? Showing that no results found, because this is an approval process. The notification might be sent for his manager. Who is the manager for this employee? How to find? How we can find the manager for this employee? How to find is go to navigator. For every employee, self information will find here, right? Self information. Go to personal information. once we go to personal information. And here we can find personal details, contact information, family and emergency contacts, and identification information, employment information. Click on this employment information. In employment, we can find which job, which business unit, department, location, position, all the details we can find here. And now we can find who is the manager here. There are two people, and Mitch Blum is the manager, line manager. He is the line manager here. And Linda Swift is the project manager here. Linda Swift is the project manager over here. It is. Okay. So line manager here, Mitch Blum is the line manager, right? Requirement might be, will be sent for this particular manager. So we need to go for it. So we don't know what is the password for this employee. Let me go for tools menu, security console. Set the password for this employee here. Reset the password here. Now Mitch Blum is the manager for Curtis Fitty employee. Let's log in. Manager is going to log in now, and username is Mitch.Blum. We can find here action is required for the task called job. This is, and if manager would like to view the notification, what exactly the transaction and who has created, when it is created. In case if manager wants to have some more information, he wants to request some information, will be sent from here. In case if you want to reassign this particular action to someone else, like a secondary person or somebody, or if they want to route the task or escalate or suspend, if you want to add some comments, then it's going to be used, right? Otherwise it's not required. Let me go for approve it. We can find approval comments here. If we want to add some documents, can be added here and go for submit. This is called a management hierarchy. So management hierarchy is nothing but if any employee create any transaction, then the notification will be sent to the manager, corresponding manager, line manager or resource manager or project manager. We need to specify that also, right? At the time of configuring the approvals, we are supposed to specify that information here. We can find it's approved here. Okay. Let me remove this to approval process, because if someone try to create a location or try to create a job, then it's a problem for them, because they may not be knowing that there is an approval process internally. So they'll try to create a job and it will not be approved. That's a problem, right? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to go for this job task here. So what's our job here? Right, it's approved successfully. Now we are trying to disable the approval process, whatever we have done for job and location. So let's go for approval management option here. Manage approval transactions for HCM. Go for it. We did for location and job, right? Let me go for approval rules here. First, location, and trying to disable it. Done. And then we want to do it for job. I have bypassed the approvals for the location. And let me go for approval rules here. And then it's going to be job, right? If we want to do it, let's say create job, I don't want to bypass the approval. Let me take it as auto approve. So management hierarchy here is there. Instead of this, I'm going to configure as self auto. Submit. Now, if I go for notifications, generally the complete transaction happened here through notifications only, communication. Yeah, Curtis Fetty has submitted and it's approved by the manager, right? So this is how we can go for disable the options, or how we can remove it and make it as self auto approve. So even if you practice in the instance also, I request everyone, please disable your approval customizations, because if somebody knows, if somebody do not have an idea about approvals, if they create location or grade, it's difficult for them to go with that, right? That's what the problem. So now what we are trying to do, I'll do it for employee hiring. Right now we did for location and job. Let's go for employee hiring. If anybody hire an employee, need approvals from manager. So go for employee hiring. Excuse me. It's right now bypassed approval. That's why we used to hire employee directly and we were able to get it. Right now I enabled the approvals. Go for edit here. So I've removed all approval options which are available here. Now I'm going to create a new rule here. Create. And specify the name of the rule, active status, priority, and always we want to apply this particular rule. It means I'm not mentioning any conditions here. So this is a rule. A rule means basically condition, right? I'm not going to specify any conditions here. So anybody can hire employee, but whenever they hire employee, they are supposed to get approval from the manager. That's applicable for all. In case if you say that should applicable only for a particular legal entity or particular department or particular job, we can go for mention the conditions that we'll look for in the next session. Approvals required, line manager, it start from manager, number of levels 1, and final approval is the manager. This is for employee hiring process. The rule name is invalid. It must begin with a letter and contain only letters and numbers. There is a rule name. There is some gap. There is some space. We are going to hire an employee. Let me hire employee here. The previous sessions we have done this already. legal employer and employment information and business unit, position, job. This all we have specified here. Now, if we go down here, we can find approvers here. So obviously, Mitch Blum will be the approver because current employee is Curtis Fitty. His manager name is Mitch Blum. Here it is. Now go down here. Here we can find Mitch Blum is the manager. Mitch Blum is the manager over here. Okay, go for submit. Now, if we search for an employee, whatever we have hired, then we will be able to find here. Let me go for person management. See, I'm not able to find employee information, right? Because it's still in approval process here. Let's go for notifications. Now manager is going to log in here. Action required, employee hiring, employee name and details here. Can find, right? We are going for it. So like this, we can apply it for employee hiring, employee update, and employee processes like employment information update. For any task, we can go for configure. So this is about the management hierarchy. So in the next session, we'll look for some more examples, approval groups, how to define conditions. This we'll discuss in the next session. Okay. Thank you.